what did your weekly preparation for this Ironman look like? And I understand that it changed as the time probably went on, but on average, what did your training look like for a week?
I would swim once a week, and I'd swim up in Caledon once a week. Try to do the full 3.8 every week. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. Then I would bike and run once a week, and try to run once a week. So I mean, on average, I wasn't training as much as you generally should be training. But 3 times a week, and then going to the gym once a week to work on core stuff.
So when you did, was there ever a combined session that you would do the bike, run, and swim? Or is it bike once, run once, swim once? What did that look like?
Ideally, once a week you should be doing all 3, but there was only one day where I do a bike and run.
Okay.
Because I heard so much emphasis on getting your legs prepared to start running after a bike.
Okay.
Not too much emphasis on the transition from the swim to the
bike. Okay.
But I really found that was a big transition for me to once you get out of the swim to really hustle to the bike.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, once you get on the bike, I felt like I was sort of rejuvenated and I was okay. But to hustle to get there, it's a big. It's very important to train like that.
Okay.
I found.
So were your legs during that point after the swim then, were you just gaining that energy back? Was it hard to get to that transition?
I was you're very dizzy.
Okay.
And you're just trying to make sense of everything. Energy-wise, you're tired.
Yeah.
But it's basically, for me, it was trying to remind myself that I was in a race. Because my transitions were 18 minutes apart, 18 minutes each. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Boris, how about you for your training?
We did the swimming usually together. So Wednesday nights, for the most part, I did the full, a 3.5K swim, or the full distance pretty much.
Yeah.
I felt like I improved a lot in the swim, and that was a great kind of strategy for me there. So once a week I was swimming, and then pretty much I trained weekends after that. So kind of a similar, more relaxed schedule than most people, I guess. I would spend anywhere from 4 to 5 hours on the bike, and then try and do some kind of run afterwards on the weekends. And if I could fit in an extra run on its own here and there, I would too.
And for both of you, your runs, when you did do a singular run, or you did the run with the biking, how long were you going for that run for?
So generally, if I did it with the biking, I'd only do 10K afterwards.
Okay.
And if it was on its own, I would be between 15 and 20K.
Okay.
Again, ideally, I should have been up 25, 30K closer to the race, on singularly.
Yeah.
And then with the bike, I should have been up around 20. That would have been ideal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. In my experience with the race too, the run for me was the spot I felt I could have improved the most on, but I also knew going into it and incorporating in my training schedule what I put into the run was a fair result for myself, and I know that. I didn't do a longer than 10K run going into this, so I did better than I even thought come race day, but the end of the marathon, which is grueling enough when you're training for one, was pretty...
It's unreal that, to think about it, your minds must have helped you get through that, because in the training, you weren't, either of you, running super, super long distances,
Right.
but your minds obviously knew, I want to finish this
Yeah.
thing, and I'm going to push through.
Absolutely.
It's incredible.
Yeah.